Hello everyone. So in this particular video, we are going to talk about the hydrophobic interaction chromatography concept. So the hydrophobic interaction chromatography or the HIC actually exploits the property of strong interaction between the hydrophobic groups. So the matrix that we use in the HIC column actually contains the hydrophobic group, and the analyte that we want to separate also contain the hydrophobic group. So thus how we are going to elute our biomolecule or separate our biomolecule from the rest of the molecules. So what kind of analyte that we use in the HIC chromatography? So generally we use protein which contain high number of polar amino acids such as alanine, valine, leucine, isoleucine, phenylalanine, proline and methionine. So these high abundance actually make them useful for the HIC chromatography. So these amino acids are usually buried in the core of the protein and they exclude the water molecules. So there is a term called protein solubility. So sometime when we extract protein from the cell, so their relative solubility in the cell and in the buffer are usually different. So soluble protein in the cell sometime may get insoluble in buffer and they get precipitated. So to resolubilize them, so what we do is we add a little bit amount of salt which actually help protein solubilize because they displaces water molecule and interact with the side chain of amino acid. So this particular property is called salting in. And on the contrary, when we use a high amount of salt, so what the high concentration of salt does is they actually displaces all of the water molecule around the protein, which completely expose the hydrophobic patch of the protein or the core of the protein. So this particular process is called the salting out. So when we use a low amount of salt to solubilize the protein, it's called salting in, but when we use a high amount of salt to precipitate it, then it is called salting out. So salt is used for both solubility and for the precipitation. So this is particular our protein and it is in an aqueous environment. So the blue dot here are representing the water molecule and the red part here is denoting the hydrophilic part and the black part here is denoting the hydrophobic patches or those non-polar amino acid. So when we use the high amount of salt concentration, so what they does is they actually replace the water molecule around the protein molecules and they result in the conformational change in the protein because there is no water molecule around. So these hydrophobic molecule can come out and thus there is a conformational change. So same thing happened in this particular HIC chromatography. So we use our sample and we use high amount of salt concentration in order to change the protein conformation and to release their hydrophobic patches. So as there is a high salt concentration, so the hydrophobic patches are exposed. So in next step what we do is we actually run this sample in the HIC column. So this is a HIC column and these are the hydrophobic matrix. And see, there are other protein I have labeled. So there are some of the other protein molecule which also have a exposed hydrophobic patches. So but their number is usually less than the other of protein. So there will be some kind of a non-specific interaction with the column, but there won't be any strong interaction, so they will get eluted out. So as we run them through the column, so only the protein with a high number of non-polar amino acid will get attached and the rest get eluted out. So now we know that our particular molecule of interest has been binded to the column. So now we want to elute it because there is an interaction between the column and our molecule of interest. Now we want to elute it. So what we do is we use the low amount of salt concentration but with a higher aqueous concentration. So when we pour that buffer into the column, so what they does is because there is a high number of aqueous concentration, so the protein molecule actually get in their native conformation and thus they are released. So here the protein molecule has a hydrophobic patch exposed, but the low salt concentration has a high aqueous concentration and our molecule of interest will get conformational change or get into their native position and they will get eluted out. So this is how the HIC chromatography works. So what are the metrics that we use in the HIC? So from the name we know that the matrix must also be a non-polar. So these are the butyl S-saffurose, phenyl saffurose, catophenyl saffurose and the octyl saffurose. So all these molecules are non-polar or the hydrophobic in nature. So why we need to choose the right column for the matrix? It is because the strength of binding of analyte to the column is actually governed by the length of the aliphatic linear ligand, and the matrix with the aromatic ring containing ligand make additional pi-pi interaction. So the hydrophobic interaction chromatography actually exploits the pi-pi interaction between the two hydrophobic groups, and the matrix which is having an aromatic ring and which contain ligand actually bind the analyte more strongly, and this pi-pi interaction also give more selectivity, as here we know that we have other molecules too which have a low number of the hydrophobic patches. So the pi-pi interaction actually allow only those which have a stronger pi-pi interaction and exclude those which have a lower pi-pi interactions. Also, the ligand density also play a vital role in the binding. So I hope you get the idea of the HIC chromatography. If you didn't understand anything, you can put it into the chat box or in the comment box. And if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. And I thank you for your patient listening, and please stay tuned in for the more videos. Thank you.